Good morning and welcome to Shatliff on Sunday. It is Sunday, October 30th, 2022, and indeed, I hope that everybody is well. Unfortunately, due to COVID and a few other things, that's why you've not seen or heard much of me over recent weeks. Thankfully, I am now recuperating out of self isolation, but I must say, for people that think that COVID is not still out there, it is still out there, and this was a lot worse for me this time than what it was when I first had it back in February 2021. Thanks to my father, Frank Shatliff, who did a great job in making sure that I managed to survive this rather nasty ordeal. Today on Shatliff on Sunday, we've got two brand new games. One, Who's Running the Country, and the other, Where's Liz? We'll be taking a look at what's happening around the world at the moment and thoughts with the people in Seoul after the tragedy that happened yesterday evening at the Halloween stampede. And of course, the war is still going on in Ukraine. Our thoughts and prayers are with all the people in Ukraine, hoping that this will come to an end and the people responsible will be brought to justice. Also, we're having a look at a religious reflection as well, as we ordinarily do. Welcome to the programme. Today is the 31st Sunday in ordinary time in the Catholic religion. And in a little short while, we're watching Mass live from St. Mary's Roman Catholic Church at Cadogan Street in Chelsea in London. As sinners go, Zacchaeus was a big fish, or maybe we should say the big shark, not Jaws. As a chief tax collector, he was responsible for other tax collectors, and was no doubt very experienced in the dark art of exploiting and cheating others. Tax collectors experienced much hatred and were seen as the scum of the earth. Not my words, the words here. So yes, seen as the scum of the earth. The lowest of the low. Ironically, the name Zacchaeus means innocent or pure. But there was nothing innocent or pure about him. His wealth was the fruit of the corrupt tax system, in which the Jewish tax collectors secured their own piece of the pie by charging a further levy and skimming it off for themselves. Yeah. They were literally getting wealthier on the backs of others. It wouldn't be an exaggeration to say that Zacchaeus was as loathed and despised by the general public as a drug dealer might be today. Imagine then the shock and indignation that would be caused if Pope Francis invited himself to dine with a well-known drug dealer. Pandemonium would break out at the knowledge that the head of the Catholic Church was associating with such people. But what if our drug dealer duly gave his life to the Lord and became Catholic? Zacchaeus' conversion is dramatic and generous, reflecting his experience of Jesus' goodness and generosity. His story teaches us that no one is beyond redemption, and that God's grace and mercy reaches into the deepest and darkest of hearts. Redemption, Jesus didn't come to call the righteous, but the unrighteous. He came to seek and save the lost. And the truth is that we're all lost. Amazing grace, I once was lost, but now I'm found. The rich young man encountered the Lord and went away sad. The wealthy Zacchaeus encountered the Lord and went away filled with joy and conversion. God works in amazing ways, mysterious ways. Those we think are far away from God are closer than we realize, and those who think are close to God may be furthest away than we imagine. I just had a very quick very quick, sneaky look at that before I read that this morning, and that was just mainly the first few lines. I had the element of surprise about reading that out and then just seeing how connected to what is happening in reality these things certainly are. Let's take a look at the main news stories which are taking place this Sunday morning before we then discuss today's two games. Who's running the country and where's Liz? You know where I'm going to with both of those. Right, okay. As I mentioned earlier, South Korea, there was an amazing tragedy that occurred yesterday evening when a Halloween stampede has cost the lives of at least 150 people. South Korea has declared a national period of mourning. The crowd, at least 150 people, possibly more, have been killed during that crowd crush. As I say, thoughts and prayers with all those people who've been caught up in the tragedy that happened in Seoul yesterday. And Michael Gove has insisted that Suella Braverman is a first-rate politician. As the pressure grows on the Prime Minister, Rishi Sunak, to act about bringing back Suella Braverman, who was only sacked from her position 6 days before after breaching the code of conduct, and others have said there has been more breaching which has gone on. President Joe Biden has condemned Russia for suspending grain export deal. The US Speaker Nancy Pelosi has said she is heartbroken and traumatized after her husband was assaulted at their San Francisco home on Friday, with the person saying, "Where's Nancy?" In Northern Ireland, they've said another election will not break Stormont's power sharing deal. And in Brazil, they're going to the polls to decide between their two candidates, Jair Bolsonaro and Lula da Silva. So wherever you are in the world, politics is certainly affecting each and every one of us. And I'm going to finish on something a little bit more positive. The Princess of Wales, the Duchess of Cambridge, Kate Middleton, has said that addicts' recovery is possible in a message of hope and support. And who better to give somebody some hope and support than someone who has done an absolutely wonderful and fantastic job since marrying the now Prince of Wales back in 2011 and becoming not just a great ambassador, but somebody genuine to help the people of Great Britain and around the world. Thank you, Kate. It'd be lovely to be able to meet somebody like the Princess of Wales to do an interview on Ben Shatliff on Sunday. That might be a dream too far, but as people are aware, anybody can come on to Ben Shatliff on Sunday. The invitation is there. There was an invitation that was given to our local MP, Christian Wakeford, on social media during the week in response to something else that was going on. I'm still waiting for a response. When last looking on there, I did have a response to somebody else liking the invitation, but the offer is still there to anybody who wants to come on and discuss what's been going on over the last 7 days, what's likely to be going on, wants to discuss what's going on in the world of politics or anything at all. It's good to have that conversation. So those conversations are all welcome. Right. Excuse me. Now, of course, I've not been on air for a few weeks, not just due to COVID. There's been a whole variety of different things going on. I did record one a couple of weeks ago, but that was only put on, not on complete public display. There have been a few technicalities. Right, a bit of a game. Who's running the country? So the choices are Rishi Sunak, Boris Johnson, or Penny Mordaunt. A week ago, everybody's thinking, what on earth is going on in the world of politics once again? Boris returns. Even the media are waiting as his plane arrives back in the UK after he'd been in the Caribbean. Bearing in mind, there wasn't a parliamentary recess going on. This was during parliamentary sitting. So it looked, is Boris coming back? He held late night meetings with Rishi Sunak. No deal was delivered, and all of a sudden on Sunday evening, I'm not going to stand in this election on this specific occasion. And then just literally 2 minutes before the 2 o'clock deadline on Monday, when it was going to be announced who had reached the 100 votes or who had not reached the 100 votes, it was then announced that Penny Mordaunt had decided she would pull out of standing for the leadership race. So therefore, who is the new Prime Minister? Who's running the country? Rishi Sunak. And then, of course, on Tuesday morning, the then departing Prime Minister, Liz Truss, spoke outside Downing Street. No remorse, no apology. Said I'm going, went to see King Charles, and has not been seen or heard of since. So that brings on then to the next question. Where is Liz? Where's she disappeared to? PMQs on Wednesday with Prime Minister Rishi Sunak's first Prime Minister's questions, and that was she was not there, was she? And she's not been seen of since. It has been also mentioned yesterday that there is now an investigation going on because her phone had been breached during the leadership challenge elections during the summer. So, and it's also been said about as well in regards to the fact that when a prime minister steps down or loses, whichever happens, they always get an honours, and of course they always get money, which they can keep in office going for so many years, however long they wish to do so. Right, so this is the big thing. Liz Truss was Prime Minister for a matter of weeks. And I'm going to give a political intervention here on this specific scenario. Whichever way your political balance lies, whether you vote Labour, Conservative, Liberal Democrats, Scottish National Party, Plaid Cymru, whoever, Independent, whichever way you vote, you can still have you can get an emotion when you're seeing a new Prime Minister coming in, when you're seeing a new Prime Minister going. And as much as I slated the one before last Prime Minister, Boris Johnson, in regards to breaking the rules of COVID and some of the lies that were going on, bearing in mind I was not criticising before then, and I would not have any criticism about what Boris has done to help the people of Ukraine. There was a lot of stuff which I would not criticise Boris for, but certain things which then made him have to quit the role of Prime Minister and lead with the Conservative Party, completely understandable. But there was emotion when watching Boris's farewell speech on Downing Street on Tuesday, September 6th. I then watched Liz Truss enter Downing Street, who I thought would be going to be doing a good job, my preference over the two. And I thought, where's the vision? Where's the hope? What's going on here? There was nothing that you would normally see from whoever it is, whichever political colour. You normally see something, some kind of a vision. And bearing in mind, I watched Gordon Brown come into Downing Street, I watched David Cameron come into Downing Street, I watched Theresa May come into Downing Street, and I watched Boris Johnson come into Downing Street. And I saw all the farewell speeches of all the others leading up to all of that as well. And there was nothing at all that showed any kind of emotion or vision as Liz Truss entered Downing Street. And the emotion that I felt for Boris Johnson, for Theresa May, for David Cameron, and of course for Gordon Brown, when I watched them say farewell at Downing Street, was not there on Tuesday for Liz Truss. But then when I saw Rishi Sunak enter Downing Street and give his speech, I felt a sense of hope. It's not saying any political leanings or anything like that. I think we've got somebody here who's actually showing what they want to do. Excuse me. So the big question is, where is Liz Truss? Things were cocked up. There's no ifs or buts about that whatsoever. But what she needs to do is she doesn't. She said that she's going to be going back to the constituency. The thing is, she is still being paid as an MP. There is still stuff going on. There's still plenty of fallouts going on. She should be there, facing the music as a backbencher. She doesn't want to do it. There are plenty of other people that would potentially want to be an MP in that constituency or any other country. Any other constituency across the country. Okay, that's my thoughts there in relation to the old and new and older again Prime Minister. Whichever happens, whoever is going to be in control of our country, whether it's Conservative, Labour, or whoever, the ordinary people of this country need to be looked at. Stability is needed. We do not need unstable governments in what is supposed to be a democratic and one of the so-called wealthiest and major countries of the world. People look at Great Britain and think of greatness and think about the various different things which have gone on over the years and think about stability and different stuff like that. When you look at this country at the moment, that stability has disappeared. It's such a Rishi Sunak, our new Prime Minister, who I will wish well, as I would say to anyone who's going to take over the country. It's up to you to sort this country and to get things moving and show a sense of show a sense of hope, show a sense of stability, but show a vision and show something where people can think, okay, Britain is doing something. Our late Queen always did that. Our new King, King Charles, is already doing that. I'm a royalist, everybody knows that, so I never say anything bad against our royal family. They know what to do, they know the right words. It's up to these politicians to also make sure that things are doing. And it's just a great shame that sometimes that the royal family cannot intervene, because they would make better leaders than what some of our politicians on all sides certainly would do. Now then, also 2 weeks ago, there was something very, very disturbing that happened right here in Manchester. And that was when the Hong Kong protester was dragged into the Chinese consulate, beaten up, and now one of the Chinese has actually said that any UK national that is showing support to Hong Kong, they're saying it is not a good idea. Well, I can tell you something now, and I've been going to these rallies and showing support to the people of Ukraine right from the word go. I've missed some due to ill health, and I was back again yesterday at the rally in Manchester. We have people from Hong Kong that join us every single Saturday, and I've taken part in special protests regarding Hong Kong as well. I have a special message to the Chinese government. I will stand with the people of Hong Kong. I will show solidarity to the people of Hong Kong. What you do in China is not democratic. What you have done to Hong Kong, what you try to do to Taiwan, and the way you try and do things around the rest of the world is not humane, nor is it democratic. So you will not tell the people of the United Kingdom not to show support to the people of Hong Kong, and we will stand together against tyrants like China, Russia, Iran, North Korea, and all these other countries that think that they can make life difficult and harder and deadlier for the rest of this world. So China, go and do something different. Thank you. Right, okay, sorry for that rant, but of course a lot has been going on over recent weeks. We stand shoulder to shoulder with the people of Ukraine, with Hong Kong. Yesterday, the people of Iran were speaking against the poor young lady who was killed because she took off what she did not want to wear. Freedom and democracy is there for each and every one of us. Let nobody try and change that. Okay. I've still got the voice just about, but I had to say some of those things there. Right, that is it from this edition of Ben Shatliff on Sunday. I'll go and get ready to go and watch Mass live from St Mary's at Cadogan Street in Chelsea. If anybody disagrees with what I'm saying on here, please tell me. You've all got different ways of contacting. If you agree or whatever, over the coming weeks, we'll continue to be doing more. Going to move this desk around later today and go back to the window here, still incorporating all of this behind me as well. So there'll be a slight change for next week on Ben Shatliff on Sunday. We'll try and continue to do Ben Shatliff on Sunday on a regular basis. Sometimes, due to reasons, we've not been able to do so, but we will definitely still continue being on an air. Thank you to everyone who shows regular support. All I want in this world is people to enjoy having a decent life without any ridiculous restrictions or anything at all that causes people to have stumbling blocks in their lives. And it just annoys me when you see and hear of other countries that really, really try and not just cause danger to everyone, but really interfere with people's ordinary lives. And that's why I stand with the people, not just of Ukraine, but also with Hong Kong, Taiwan, and of course, those ladies in Iran who want to be able to enjoy their lives without any issue at all whatsoever. We know the Iranian government are supporting Russia as well, so we are supporting the Iranian people who are against their regime, which is going on there. So just don't want anyone misinterpreting any of the things which I'm saying on here. Right, that is it for this week. I'm going to leave you with a beautiful hymn today, a beautiful hymn which, whilst I was actually laying in bed and with the early onsets of COVID and not feeling too good, I played this hymn quite a few times, and it's a beautiful one which we sing in church, and we hope indeed that you enjoy it. From me for now, take care, enjoy the rest of this Sunday, stay safe, and God bless.
My soul is filled with joy as I sing to God my Savior. You have looked upon your servant. You have visited your people, and holy is your name. Through all generations, everlasting is your mercy to the people you have chosen, and holy is your name. I am holy as a child, but I know from this day forward that my name will be remembered. For all will call me blessed, and holy is your name. Through all generations, everlasting is your mercy to the people you have chosen, and holy is your name. I proclaim the power of God. You do marvels for your servants, though you scatter the proud-hearted and destroy the might of princes. And holy is your name. Through all generations, everlasting is your mercy. The people you have chosen, and holy is your name. the hungry you give food. Send the rich away empty. In your mercy you are mindful of the people you have chosen. And holy is your name through all generations. Everlasting is your mercy to the people you have chosen, and holy is your name. Your love you now fulfill what you promised to your people. I will praise you, Lord, my Savior. Everlasting is your mercy, and holy is your name. Through all generations, everlasting is your mercy to the people you have chosen, and holy is your name.